Before we get in the car, quick voiceover for us scrap metal dealers in Canterbury. This fella works in a trade that produces scrap metal.
Speedway Road Trips.
Welcome along once again to another Speedway road trip, and this is a road trip. 1,000 miles in the next, just over 48 hours, as we head to Ipswich, then Glasgow, then Workington, then home. You won't see all of that in one episode, but I am going to be in the car driving. Out of the next 48 hours, I'm going to be driving for the next 18 hours and 39 minutes, according to my sat-nav. So, hope you brought some snacks for the ride. First petrol station visit of the trip. Anybody for a rollover hot dog? Perfect soundtrack for cruising through Wakefield.
It's not a fluke, it's been tried. I'm the truth. Let's turn out the lights from the world-class wrecking crew.
Getting to Ipswich is relatively simple as the crow flies. For me, down the A1, just towards Peterborough, and then pick up the A14 around Cambridge, and then just keep driving till you get to Ipswich, basically. But there are some roadworks on the way, of course. A few trips through some quaint Suffolk villages to bypass those. Got to be done. Of course, this is time-lapse video. I wasn't actually driving this speed because that would be ridiculous. And then you get to the Orwell Viaduct. There it is. At the time of its construction, it was the longest pre-stressed concrete span in use in the UK. For you concrete lovers out there, as you can see, nice trip over the river. And then before you know it, you're on Foxhall Road and heading in towards Foxhall Stadium. One of the more, I think, dramatic entrances to a Speedway stadium in the UK. As you can see, into the trees, driving into the woods, only for a short way. And then you're in the car park, park up, and you're at Foxhall Stadium. Welcome then to Foxhall Heath. The stadium behind that fence there. All quiet here now, very peaceful, but later on the top two sides in the Row Motor or Premiership clashing, Ipswich versus Oxford, and let's go have a look in the stadium. And yeah, it's all like a little natural dip, little bowl, and there we are. The Speedway track inside the tarmac there, but that doesn't stop Doyle. He likes sliding the bike around that sometimes when a bit of the dirt comes over. And there's the BSN van here, mission control, where the magic happens. Hello.
Alright, you alright?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, not too bad.
We're good? Alright?
How are we doing, mate? Alright?
Good, are you?
Good.
Good. And then through here you got the pits. Better go around that way. There's the BSM booth. All set up for interviews later on.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got the pits way in there, away team and the home team. Some big names in the lineup, eh? Yeah, see, look at the experience Dan Thompson's getting. Look who he's next to. So this will all be full very soon. And then you can get out on the track. the starts up there nicely. And then we'll have a look at the track a little bit later when we do our track walk, but looking good. So, now we just need to get set up. Then it was time to record the social media preview for Facebook for BSN, which would have been a nice simple job were I not distracted by a seagull. Of the Witches, Scott Nichols. Alright, let's go have a little mooch. Oh. So this is where we're going to be commentating from. This is the press box. And then along here, but this is where the announcer might... Is this where the announcer sits? I'm not sure. This is where the referee sits. Oh, there's the announcer, look. And you've got the referee. So the referee sits here. And you've got the 2-minute hooter, red exclusion, blue exclusion, white exclusion, little lights to go with it. Red stop lights, green light go, start marshal. So there you go. Awesome stuff. So that's where the referee sits. Chris Louis out there doing his thing at the minute. And then there's a bit of another little room through there. Hospitality room in there for the VIPs. A little bar. Okay. Down the steps. Foxhall Raceway is one of the most historic speedway stadiums there is in British Speedway, and there's quite a few. Speedway, well, I think anything first began here in 1951, so 73 years ago. There's been racing, both speedway and of course stock car racing here over the years. We're on the first bend now. You can see what a great view you get. People say it's a bit of a technical track. There are definitely quirks to it, but the very best find their way around it with no problems, that's for sure, as Emil Sayfutdinov and Jason Doyle can prove. And they've got like corporate boxes here. Over in the back straight, there's a radio transmitter for the radio transmitter Anorax, which transmits Heart for Ipswich and other radio stations. So they've got a stand on the back straight, which gives you another great view. Look at that view. That's got to be one of the best views in Speedway, I reckon, in Britain, for how high up you are. Imagine, I mean, it's a little bit cool today, not the worst day by any stretch. You imagine on a baking hot summer's day, sitting here watching Speedway. That's got to be good, hasn't it? Awesome. Good views all round then, and then it was back to the pits to do a few pre-meeting interviews, including with Emil Sayfutdinov, and, well, what else do you ask him about, other than the weather?
Yeah, hello everyone, and yeah, it's looking good weather for that moment, and then I hope, we can keep, and we start like normal, with our forecast, and yeah, I think it will be alright.
Then it was track walk time with Rory Schleiner, who I was commentating alongside that night, and again, weather was the theme.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think they're predicting a little bit of rain coming in just after 8 o'clock, I believe. So I think Chris and Bob have just more or less playing it safe, not putting too much moisture into the track. Just at the start here, you can see normally here at Ipswich, the starts are very, very grippy. Bob likes getting the rippers in, and a lot of riders like it. So as you can see, gates 1 and 2 over here, there's a lot of moisture. Notoriously, with the clay content here, it's always nice as a rider to turn up to Ipswich. You just look at the starts. Sometimes you don't even need to pack it in. It's a great feeling, actually.
So with everything set, time for some Speedway scran Ipswich style.
A jacket potato, very healthy option, with cheese. Not quite so healthy, but still, don't get many jacket potatoes in Speedway.
So, full of carbs and cheese, it was time for the meeting to begin. The Ipswich Witches versus the Oxford Spires. And Oxford had a bit of a setback. They were without one rider, Rowan Tungay. It was that one where he was missing. But they still made a great start. And it was a meeting of two halves, really. Oxford certainly not letting Ipswich have it their own way for the first few heats. But then, later on, as forecast, that rain moved in after around about 8:15 or so, and then conditions became rapidly a lot more trickier. After Heat 14, the result was no longer in any doubt. Ipswich had won the day, and there was a meeting between the team captains and team managers and the referee in the pits. And rather than go out and race Heat 15 for the sake of it, everything was called there at Heat 14. There's a very happy Adam Ellis having his post-match interview. And then it was a case of packing up, really. After everybody's gone, the rain was teeming down. Case of packing away the commentary gear, things like the BSM booth. Everything's got to go back in the van before we move on to our next stop. You can see the pits have long emptied. Everybody's vanished. We've got a scaffolding tower to take down, so we did that. There I am, carrying some scaffolding. Living the dream there. Look very happy with myself. And then there was just us left in the building, and they'd turned the lights out. And then it was on to the hotel, because the next day, a big one, heading to Glasgow.
Speedway Road Trips.